Are real estate agents dead, or are they thriving with all these new changes? There's no question the way that we negotiate our commission or our compensation has changed drastically. And unfortunately, the public perception has changed massively after the August 2024 decision that was made to change the way that we do business. What I want to talk about today is how you make sure that you are thriving in today's market. There's one thing that you can do that's going to make a massive difference for you. And as I reveal this to you and show this to you, you start taking some notes here, you'll realize this is what's been missing in my business even before any of the NAR crap that's going on. So I think you'll find this to be very, very helpful for you. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today, we're going to talk about that one thing, what you can do to crush it this year in your real estate business. There's no question an awful lot of agents were scared, were confused. They got punched in the mouth and they got stunned, and a whole lot of them left the business. That's fine because you're here, you survived. That means you're going to do very, very well, provided you make the adjustments that you need. And you can build your own confidence level, your own public perception, your own offer that you're putting out to the public. If you can build that the right way, now's the biggest time of your entire career. There's never been a better opportunity. Obviously, a huge portion of the competition is gone. Now you can really focus in on what it is that you offer. The one thing I want you to start thinking about here is how you're building your value stack to show that you are extremely helpful and extremely useful to the local marketplace. What do you provide? As an example, if I were to ask you today, why should I use you as my buyer's agent? You're not allowed to say things like, I'm a good negotiator, I care about your business, I'm always available, I'll represent your best interest, you'll have someone on your side, all the things that everybody else says. I want you to build a value stack that's so compelling that there's no way they could go with anyone else. Even if their cousin is a real estate agent, they're going to go with you. You have to build that value stack to show why you're good. But you have to think about what is incredibly interesting about your offer, that they're like, wow, how do you do that? I want to call to find out how this agent is able to provide this for me. If you do not have that, you have to find that. Otherwise, you are a commodity real estate agent, completely replaceable by someone else that will do it at a lower fee. Somebody that'll do something at a 1% fee or a flat transaction or whatever. If you're not building the value, frankly, you may not be worth what you're asking for. You know how you can be worth more? You can offer more. You can provide more to the general public. So it's one of those things I want you to really think about here, and that you have to have an incredibly interesting offer. Now, as you're doing that on the front end, the next thing you've got to think about is, what does your short-term nurture and your long-term nurture look like? I want you to write these down. Short-term nurture and long-term nurture. Now, what do I mean by that? When a lead comes in today, let's say you get a lead on your website, or you bought a lead from Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever the case is. You get a lead today. What's going to happen over the next 21 days? What do they get to know about you? What is all of the list of all of the call to actions that you have? What type of CTAs do you have? Are you providing real value for them, or are you just asking them if you can help them? Are you teaching them something? Are they learning something? Are they garnering information from you from all of those contacts you have in that first 21 days? That short-term nurture is going to make the difference of you converting leads or not converting leads. You know how you can guarantee you'll fail? Keep calling people and asking them if they need an agent to help them. Why don't you actually be helpful? I found, this is kind of the oldest trick in the book, but I'm going to give it to everybody here. The best way to prove to someone you can help them is to actually help them. Maybe if we just start with that, we're going to build that relationship that we need. So you've got to think about that short-term nurture, how you're putting that together. And then ultimately, now that we have the short-term nurture in place and the 15-20% of the people that are going to reply actually do convert right then, after 21 days, they should all roll into your long-term nurture. What is that? The contact you're having with your sphere of influence, past clients, unconverted leads. That's what these people are after 21 days. They're unconverted leads. You have to have continuous conversation with them. What's your monthly newsletter look like? What does your weekly email look like? What does your text broadcast look like? All of the things that you need to have in place. Whether you're doing this one-on-one, you're doing this group, you're doing this through a tagging system with your CRM, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to stay in touch with them with helpful information, not calling to ask if they're ready. That's the stupidest thing you can do in your real estate business. It's a salesperson begging for business, and it's very off-putting. So your goal is to, every time you have a contact with them in your short-term nurture and in your long-term nurture, your goal is to make sure it's helpful, it's educational, and there's a CTA. There's a call to action there as well. If you look, for those of you that are members with Greg Luther Inner Circle, if you look in there, you'll see some example email sequences you can use. You'll see some text sequences you can use, some scripts and dialogues that work well, and more importantly, some topics that you can discuss. What are you doing with video footage? What are you doing with text messages, with phone calls, with emails, with social media, retargeting, all of the things that you can do? You don't have to do all of them, but let's choose a few and let's do a really good job at converting these prospects, because the fact is the vast majority of agents, they do nothing more than keep calling to say, are you ready yet? Can I help you? Can I be the one to show? I'd love to interview for the job. No, the hell you wouldn't. What would your interview look like? I really want it. Show me why I would choose you over the others. As a matter of fact, if I interviewed you against 10 other agents, and none of them are allowed to say the same thing. I care about your business. I'm a good negotiator. I'll represent your best interest instead of the listing side that represents the seller. All the crap that every agent's going to say, what makes you unique. I'm not saying why I should use you just to make sure I'm getting what I need done. Well, hell, I could use anybody to do that. What makes you unique? If you don't have an answer to that, you're not going to win. Well, we can bake that into our short-term nurture and our long-term nurture to make sure that we're getting a maximum response from all of the leads that we have. When they're ready, it would be crazy. It would be unreasonable to think they would go with someone else. If your offer is good enough, if you've built a value stack, it would be unreasonable for them to go with someone else, because they would really be missing out on all of the things you can offer that no one else can. So I want you to think about this in your real estate business now. What is my front end offer? What makes me unique? And then once I do get those leads coming in, what does my short-term nurture and my long-term nurture look like? Are they good? Are they compelling? Are they frequent enough to make a difference? And I know if you followed me for a while, we do these morning meetings every week. As long as you're following the channel here, we do the morning meetings every single week, and we've got little tips and tricks to help you in growing your business. But I've used this example a million times. If I email my list every Friday for 10 weeks, how many emails did they get? Let me ask you again. It's a math question. If I email my list, all of my leads, follows, whatever, if I email them every Friday for 10 weeks, how many emails did they get? They got 3, right? Over the course of 2.5 months, 10 weeks, they got 3 emails from me. You know that. You have proof of that because you can clearly see in your CRM that you have a 30% open rate. Don't give too much credit to the amount of attention that leads are providing to you. They do the same thing you do. Every morning when you check your email, you do the morning clean out. Check, 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 delete. Okay, now let me see what's left. You have a 30% open rate. If you email your leads every Friday for 10 weeks, oh, Greg, that's too much. Really? They got 3 emails from you in 2.5 months. Nobody opened it more than that because your open rates would change. You would clearly see in your stats that they actually opened it. It's not enough. The problem is, how do I get more of them opened with helpful and compelling info? And more importantly, once they do open it, once they do see a text from me, once they do see my Facebook post, once they do get a call from me, whatever it is that I'm doing, it better be damn good. Because if it is, oh, I was just checking to see if you're ready to make a move or not yet. I'd certainly love to interview for the job. Do you have someone to help you to represent your best interest? If that's the crap you're doing, they will try not to answer your call next time. They will try to delete your email unopened, or worse, even unsubscribe. I shouldn't say worse, because I like getting rid of people that don't want to work with me, but you are the one that messed that up. You didn't build enough value that they wanted to work with you. So your short-term nurture versus your long-term nurture, all of them have to have true value not just some stuff about you asking them to do business together. Look inside our member site here. Look inside all of the video footage we have. If you look on our page, obviously as a follower, you can see here, we have over 1,000 training videos for real estate agents. Over 1,000. Some of them are only 3 or 4 minutes long. And what I want you to do is go through and see, how can I get 6, 7, 8 different topics that I can talk about to buyers? How do I get 6, 7, 8 different topics that I can talk about to sellers, which gives me very good content that I can put out in front of these people? That's how you build your business, and that's how you start making real money as a real estate agent. So I want you to get to that position right now. I want you to start thinking about, what does my overall system look like? This is the one thing that can allow you to thrive rather than die as a real estate agent. Your career can die overnight. And for an awful lot of agents, it did. You know why? Because the market was so hot. There's always somebody running through the streets that I could just grab this person and be my new buyer. I could do an open house and pick up a buyer. I could be in the grocery store and pick up a client. Over and over and over, because there was so much business happening, you didn't have to have a good system and you could make plenty of money. When we all got slapped in the mouth, it changed who's going to succeed. You're still here. You survived. I want you to thrive. I want you to do the right things. You deserve to succeed because you made it through the storm. So now is the time for you to start thinking about, what is my initial offer to get lots more coming in? But the worst thing you can do is get lots of people come in and do a bad job with them. Do a bad job with conversion. And of course, if you don't convert them, you say they were bad leads. If they don't want to work with you, you say they're not motivated. You call them all 90 days later and you see they bought or sold without you. It's not an issue with motivation. Let's accept a little responsibility. Your offer sucks. Your conversion campaign sucks. If I look at your email campaign, will I be intrigued by this? Will I have to actually contact you and be like, that's really cool. How in the hell do you do that? Oh, wow, that's awesome. I didn't know you could do that. Can you really do that in your area? If you don't have that, you need to bake it in. I want you to look on the Inner Circle members website. I want you to look at some of these email sequences. I want you to look at some of the offers we put out, some of the video topics we use, some of the newsletter topics that we use to stay in touch with these people so they do, in fact, convert with you. If you fix this one thing, you see a massive difference to your business. I'm doing a training here tomorrow afternoon, actually, at 4 o'clock. We're doing a free training, and you're probably already registered for that, but this is going to cover the video approach that's working, where you don't have to be on video, but the pre-recorded videos actually convert for you. You'll see some examples of this, and you'll see how so many agents are closing deals. If you, for some reason you're not registered for that, you can go to gregsmonthlytraining.com. It's a free call. It's tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern. gregsmonthlytraining.com. And every month we have one training event that we do. That's the one that I think will be very helpful for you. And it happens to be tomorrow. So check that out. But we're going to talk a little bit about those videos that are working well. We call them faceless videos because your face never shows, but the presentation itself converts buyers and sellers to know what it is you offer, why they should work with you, and more importantly, why it's a benefit as opposed to everybody else that's out there. That is an approach that can make you lots of money. So I want you to crush it rolling through this new year here, but you'll do that by being more confident in your own system. By knowing that when I get somebody into this matrix, they're not getting out till they're my client. When they get involved with this, they're going to be happy. This is how I want you to grow your business, and I think you'll find it to be very helpful for you. So do me a favor. If this is helpful for you, if I've earned your follow the page and turn on notifications. Watch what happens over the next few weeks. Watch what happens with good, educational, helpful info that will help you in growing your business. You can copy the same. I'm Greg Luther. I'll talk to you soon, and bye-bye for now.